Okay, so I suggest first that we try to define some guidelines, rules for the meeting. I think it's the first one. So just to define the flow of the meeting and what we want to do during these meetings, the organization. Just little brainstorming stuff that I think we should go through. So we have, I'm sharing my screen, I assume everyone's seeing. We have PRs, pull requests. We have
box.
Complex issues. And there are different things to do with them. Like for PRs, usually there is feedback to give or accept. Well, not accept, but well, good to go. I wrote that yesterday. Good to go. Like, okay, we agree. We need to pull that, and there is the actual action of pull, like applying the pull request in the code. For complex issues, I think it's the same thing. This is what we call triage. So, which version and which version / do we agree? So like commenting actually or triage and bam, 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 and then fix it, do it. So I think that I'm not sure. It's also a question. For instance, for PRs, should we pull stuff during the meeting, or just mark them as good to go? Someone during the week will take them.
No, just make the decision. There is no point in actually pulling the changes. This is a task somebody individually can do. So just give feedback.
So in the case of yesterday, I took the latest PR. It was from Stanley, a very simple change. You commented a lot and he changed everything you asked, and then there was no more comments, so I assume it was good, and I thought it was good, so I said good to go, meaning okay, someone can take the changes and put them, and then I did that, which I assume was fine too. So I think this is what we should go. We should try to reach a good to go state, so that anyone can say, okay, today I will apply the pull request, or someone with the code rights, the right rights, can apply the pull request. And feedback, also give feedback, and also always have a state of what's needed.
Just one thing to add for the pull requests. Pull requests are a bit more complex than issues, so it's hard to just get a glimpse of the bigger pull request on the fly. So I would suggest to always have somebody who presents a specific pull request that we want to evaluate. So quickly describe what it's about, where are questions that you have to decide on, stuff like that. So we don't take time understanding the pull request altogether.
Yeah. So this is what I'd like to talk about now, the guidelines for PRs. We should have a page explaining what we expect in a PR, so that if people don't follow that, we can point them to this page explaining this is how we work. This is not about you and this PR exactly. This is about how we want to work. And if you could please follow the guidelines. So what you said is describe what the PR is for, and ideally have a work time for that. I think that it's always good, because this way we can discuss publicly about it, track the issue.
Use a custom branch.
So you say use a custom branch for PRs?
Yeah, it's easier for everybody if it's not on 1.8 and they tell you there's a pull request, right?
What do you mean by a custom branch? So we would create a custom branch on Orchard?
Well, I used to create a fork per issue, but I realized it's just easier if I just create a fork for myself.
And
And
okay, so when you say create a custom branch, say it's in your PR.
right,
What you did, and I like it because it was easier to pull, and also for yourself because you just need one fork that you use for PRs, and you can.
right. So I just created one fork, and my branches are always named submission underscore the number of the work item. Usually that's what I do if
This is what
there's
you
a
do,
work
and
item.
I don't care about the guidelines here because it's just about what you want to call it.
Sure.
Um,
But as long as you create a branch, I guess is a requirement.
yes, because some people work on 1.8.x directly, and it's hard to merge or to rebase stuff. Because with a branch, we can either merge or rebase the branch. We see exactly the change set for your changes, and it's also easier for you because if we ask you, oh, please rebase your change set on 1.x or 1.8, it's easy for you to do so and to ensure that there is no merging issue before we take it. There are guidelines for PRs and maybe also for the committers. So when we take a PR, I usually prefer to rebase it on the target branch and not merge it. Okay. And also, I like to squash them because the issue is that there will be some feedback for the PR. We'll ask, oh, please change this typo, please ensure that the curly brace is on the correct line, please rebase that, please fix that, please change that, remove that, and so on. So there are lots of change sets which are just noise. And in the end, what we just want is the fix for a specific feature or for a specific task. So by squashing, we just remove all the noise. Just to be clear, squashing is, so you see, so you have a change set 1, you have lots of change sets, okay? And the idea is this is on a branch, okay? And this is based, for instance, on 1.8.x. So the idea is that we first we move that to just one change with a nice commit message like the number of the item associated, fixing bug, and on the new line, work item thing, so it's closed. And we have just one change set with all the code changes for that. It's very easy to maintain. And it's on top, because it has been rebased, on top of the target branch. Yeah.
I would just add that although this should be, I think, to the general guideline, sometimes it's also very useful to see the history. This is for bigger features, but yeah, for smaller bugs, this is fine.
I agree. Sometimes the history is very necessary. For instance, yesterday or the day before, Daniel merged audit trail into 1.x, and I asked, do you want to squash everything into one change set for a module? And he said, no, I care about the history of the module. Fine. So but I think it's just for us. We have to decide when the history makes sense or doesn't make sense. Okay?
Yeah,
If
totally.
history makes sense, we don't squash. If history is just lots of feedback, like fixing a typo and fixing the code convention and stuff like that, we don't care. Or removing a feature which has been included in a PR and had nothing to do with it, we don't care about the history. We just care about the fix in the end. And we still see all the changes, that's fine.
Sébastien, by the way, will you post these notes somewhere, or will you also write a page that you mentioned?
The what?
A page. So will you write a page?
Yes, we will need to define this thing will be the page, the guidelines for the PRs. Because we already have one for the Codeplex issues, I assume.
No, we don't have
bug,
one.
maybe not. But we should do that too for the PRs. And this is for us. We could write it on the page, but
yeah, I think it's also good to document that part. But just for the guidelines for PRs, it's what you said before. Just having one fork, since you are already working in multiple branches, this is a very good tip because I've seen many people with one fork per pull request, and that could be a pain.
also I write that people can delete their branch when the PR is accepted. Well, is pulled. In the guidelines, we might also explain why we would decline a PR. Because it's not because someone took the time to create a PR with something he thinks is good that we will take it. For many reasons. Maybe it's not good. Maybe we think it's not valuable in Orchard, or it's going not on the direction we want Orchard to go. So usually it's decisions about the committee or during Tuesday's meeting or these meetings to decide, do we want that? Maybe sometimes the code is very good, it's interesting, and I'm sure they have a usage for that, but having this for everyone doesn't make sense. We've seen lots of examples, like lots of people saying on the Codeplex issues, I think that it's very interesting for everyone that Orchard should have that by default. And every time we see that, it's usually actually no. It's just for you, and you think it's valuable for everyone, but it's not valuable for everyone. I don't know if someone is typing on the chat. I'm not reading the chat, okay? So if you say something in the chat, I don't care.
It's off topic.
Okay. Codeplex issues, we can do what we do usually. PR is more important because
yeah, I think we should also have some good overview about the states of pull requests. Unfortunately, there seems to be no easy way to automatically do that. I mean, to have a list that these pull requests were reviewed by somebody and will be presented on the next meeting. These pull requests need feedback before the meeting, so guys go there, take a look, and so on. So pretty much what I've done in the discussion in the forums, but of course this is just lame, and we need a better.
Yeah, like on GitHub, you could have labels and filter by labels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but there is nothing. Yeah, and also to track existing PRs, I'm using Outlook and all the notifications I got, and I go over one and one, and I click on the link to open it in the browser. It's really a pain, but this is the only thing we can do. Okay, I think that's good. I did something also for that, let me show you, I think it's open, not here. So I did a script so when we get an email from the pull request, I don't want to open my mail. Where are the pull requests? I don't even know. Source code? Where are the pull requests here?
Under source code.
Okay. So being evaluated. Okay, if I click on one, and I see this. So requested. So your first issue is that what is it about? We have a requested boom boom. So what the first thing we do is So usually there is no comment. I'm not sure there is a comment by default.
I mean, the explanation I included on the issue.
Yeah, but that's a. So here, what we do usually is we go to see the changes and understand what it does, because title sometimes it doesn't mean anything. Not in your case, but I mean.
So should we copy what we said in the issue to the pull request? I'm not so sure what the right solution is. I mean, this was an issue that I found and immediately fixed. So should I have...
an example of a typical pull request? You see, orphan awaiting activities. Okay, I can. Okay, there is a description. Okay, so when you create pull requests, I mean, not you, Stan, but users, you see, you can write a comment and explain what it is. Okay, this is good. I don't know, I've never created a pull request in Codeplex.
Actually, I think all of the pull requests now have some context, because if there wasn't something, I always asked or researched it. So yeah.
This is why, but initially this wasn't the case. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we have some context, but ideally, yes, we should have a work item and point to it, so we can discuss more about the issue itself than the implementation. Yep, okay. So let's say it's good to go. Just to show you something. So boom, good to go. Okay, at least we have a status for many one. It's like code reviewing. We are expecting at least one core committer to say fine, to stamp it. And I have done a script. There is no recent here. Where is that? Here. So accept PR, so that if you're in Orchard, in the cell for Git, usually when we get to get, oh, this is what I wanted to show, but I don't see that. You receive an email when there is a PR. I don't know if you saw that, with all the instructions to accept the PR. And this is wrong, actually. I can't see that. It's not on the web pages.
You are looking for the pull request
Instructions.
instructions? Yeah, those are just in emails.
So in the emails you get something like execute these commands, and you get 5 commands like git checkout, git pull, it will merge, and something like that, 5 commands. You can't even copy paste them, because when you copy paste them, there are some weird chars at the beginning for the bullet points, and it's really a pain to pull a pull request. So what I did is that. So I did a git command, a git alias, accept PR. So you would go there and you say git accept PR. And what it will do is, first, it will create a local branch on your local repository, PR. Okay, it can be temp, it's a temp branch, PR, and $1 means the first parameter. This is the base branch. So I will say something like 1.8.x if I want to pull the PR on 1.8x. Okay. Then it does a pull of the second and third items, parameters, and these are actually the repository. You get it from the email, but this is something like here. If I click on that, this is really bad, but this is the repository. Okay, and the branch you want to pull. So in this case, the branch is that. Can I copy paste it from somewhere here? Okay, and last, so what it does, I'm continuing. So it will pull the branch. Okay, so all the changes from this branch into this new local branch. and because it's a pool, it will also merge it with 1.8x. So it will be merged. And then what I do is a rebase of this PR branch. Where is that? Here, rebase of the PR branch, so that the merge is converted to a rebase over the branch I want. So there is no lots of cycles in the repository. So it's done, and then I assign in a variable the latest author of the change set that have been submitted in the PR. So it's getting the author name and the email in a variable. Then I reset to the branch to the original branch 1.8x. By resetting, it's like going back to the initial branch 1.8x with all the changes that have been applied in the change sets. And then there is a checkout to the current branch, commit to commit all the changes with one commit, and here it's the message, which is the fourth parameter. So in the UI here we say where we want to merge, what we want to merge, which branch, and here we can say 1, 2, 3, fixing this. We can use another line to say work item, something like this. Okay, close quotes. And if I hit enter, so then it goes on. So it commits the message, then it changes the author, because when I commit, it's with my own account, but it changes back the author with the author I saved previously. So it's still committed by the creator of the PR, and then I delete the temporary branch. So after that, and I can actually do that. This one is a valid one. Maybe I assume so. So let's try that. There will be no impact. It's just local. So if I do that, see, fixing this. Okay, can I do Shift Enter here? Executing. You see, switching to a new branch PR, it merges everything. 5 files have been changes. Whatever the number of change sets is, it's rebasing everything on 1.8x. First change set, just one change set. Boom, deleted branch. So now if I go back to my repository, this was before, and I refresh, I just have on my local one new. You see number 1, 2, 3, fixing this work item, and if I click on that, I see all the changes, and I have the author, which is still Stanley. I am the committer, but he is the author. Okay, and you have a nice message, because we need to rewrite the messages. Usually they are wrong. I don't know about this case for Stan, because he's used to providing messages, so that's fine, but most of the users don't provide good messages. Okay, do you like it? I think it's easier than to take a pull request than the workflow that Codeplex gives us.
Let's add the message thing into the guidelines then, by the way.
Sorry?
So let's add the message format to the guidelines, because, like you said, not everyone provides the work item parameter to automatically resolve the issue.
Okay, so I will delete that because I'm not sure we want that.
Did you actually meant to say error message or pull request commit message? Line 16.
Commit message. Your message is that. So just, if you don't know, git reset hard head 1, which means we go back by one commit in the history, and we reset hard, so we lose the history for the last commit, but it's local, so it's fine. I hit enter, and now if I refresh, it's back here, so it's lost everything. So everything I showed you is very safe. And I should have it in my... Even if you merge, for instance, if you do a merge and you want to reset the merge, you just do that. It will remove the merge and you won't lose anything from your previous change set. So that's very useful. I should have an alias for that too. So this is just to show that with this tool we can get the pull request much easier than what we used to do with the complex changes recommendations. Okay, accept PR. So should we do triage? Did I miss something?
No, I don't think so.
No comments? Okay, good. So actual triage now. How do you want to proceed? Should we prioritize the PRs? Prioritize
the PRs. I think that would be good. Yeah.
Zoltan's list might be a good place to start also.
Sorry?
I said Zoltan's list might be a good place to start as well.
List?
Yeah,
yes.
I would start with the easy ones. All those where the changes were sufficiently small. Zoltan's list, yeah. And where start with the easy ones. Then we can kill off like 10 or 15. And then would come the more complicated ones, but it would be also great to have some offline feedback on these.
I have a better list. No, I have another list, sorry. This list. So I'm sure lots of them are already closed, but just to go over everyone. Just to say what I think we need to go over every of them.
Yeah, but that's why I say to take a look at this list, because it's in order. So the first one is the oldest, what I presume we should really start with. But there are also the good to go commands where it was simple to judge.
But needs changes. Is it on the pull request? Do we know that when you go on the pull request, or do we have to go to this list to know what's the status?
No, every information is at the pull request. This is just a summary.
Okay, so let's try that. Set up if database exists. So I will just check with the one I have here. This is for me the most. Okay, this one doesn't exist. So it's sweet. Is it just to see, because they order in match, just to see if they match. Being evaluated, and you wrote a comment recently, blah blah blah. Thank you. Just to see if it matches this one. There are no others.
Sébastien, my list is awesome and without any errors. You shouldn't cross-check. The last 5 pull requests or something like this are not yet included.
I don't see this one. Okay.
It was the second one.
This one. So your list is better than mine. How come? Okay.
Yeah,
Do we start with the first one?
Yeah, that's an easy one. That's why I suggest to first go through all the good to go ones, because these are the easy and small ones.
Good to go. Okay, good to go. First one. What to say? Okay, updated 19609, pull request. We don't know what it is. So that's why it's good to have a description here, but at least we have a bug. One, if creating tenant and database exists.
Yeah, the issue here is that if you attempt to install or run setup for a database with the same prefix where an orchard instance already exists, then setup will just run, and what will happen in effect that new tables will be created if there are any, and the recipe will be run again. So you will have twice the content items, for example, if you run the setup twice. And this pull request is about having an orchard exception that is thrown when an installation is detected.
Okay, so I don't disagree. In this case, we say future version. Usually we do that when we say we need to discuss that. So I assume this one is wrong and should be active on next version, like this one.
What we should also really do is to document how we manage bugs and issues. So for example, what orchard future versions mean. Because I believe that before we talked about that, like this is something low priority. You can work on that if you want, but we won't really care. So it doesn't mean we need to discuss it further.
If it's active for a defined release, I agree. We also said if it's for the future, it's like, oh yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, so in this case, we put it 18x. It should be 18x. Because it's something we could use today. It's low priority because it's good to have. Okay, and this is also something that we need to do when we take PRs. I will note it. PRs. Change the release of the fork item to match the branch pulled on. Okay. So this one we do, and we agree, good to go. So thanks, boom, I write it, good to go. Next step is someone will type that. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately Nick is not here. By the way, when we are at it, we could use at least which features are available on Codeplex, like the assign to feature on pull requests. So I don't know if you decide on having a patch master who more or less just pulls changes in, then this pull request could be assigned to the patch master.
Yeah. So to be honest, I like to. If I give a good to go, I don't care who takes it. Okay, it can be me or someone else. But I like to see the change before it goes in the source code.
What do you mean? You can see the change here?
Yeah, I mean to be able to also give my good to go before change. If you give a good to go, I will trust you. Okay, and if I see the issue that makes sense, I won't look at the changes, and I'm sure you reviewed the code correctly. But I'd like to be able to put a veto in case I don't agree with the fix or something else.
And how would you like to see that? Should it be part of a separate branch then before merging to 1x or 18x?
No, just because here Zoltan could have said, because he reviewed everything and
Mhm.
say good to go, fine.
Good to
And
go. And that means fine to pull into 1x or 18x.
wherever it will go and wherever he said it will should go, because when he said good to go, he already said that and he was fine with everything.
Mhm.
Okay, so and because we know Zoltan, we will trust him for everything he said. But the only thing I could disagree is maybe, well, maybe I could say no, actually there is something else which is better to do to fix that.
But you would say that before you say good to go, right?
Yes.
I see. Okay.
And or maybe I don't agree with, we don't want that.
Mhm.
Technically it's perfect, but we don't want that.
Yeah, totally. I think that the final word should be said on this meeting or on such a meeting,
Okay.
or by you, Sébastien.
I agree. Okay, this is even better. So we can do this work continuously, and we decide collectively we want that, we'll take that. And the good thing here is that you already check the change set and the reasons and everything, and okay, fine, we just need to validate we want that. And then, okay, we want that. Boom, we just have to pull that. Okay, I think that's good like this. And yes, historically, I've had to revert, I think, 1 or 2 changes from Antoine and one from Nick, because yeah, it was technically good code, but we didn't want the feature or the change in Orchard, or it was breaking or something like this. So that's what I want to prevent. Someone who alone reviews everything and pulls the change into the core. Okay. So this is how we do. So this one is to go. I won't update this file. So good to go, this one then. I keep it open for later work. So dynamic permissions, there is no work item.
Yeah, the question is whether to have permissions for content types that are not creatables. Because now we don't have, but it came up multiple times in the
I see. So
during the work items.
It's not filtering just for creatable; it's for everything.
Yes.
I see. I'm not sure. Example: taxonomy is not creatable, and there is a permission because of that. Manage taxonomies. So
Yeah, but you created a permission because by default they wouldn't have dynamic permissions. But let's think about it again. What if you would have dynamic permissions for taxonomies as well, that already give you fine-grained control?
No, I think it was not marked as creatable so that the taxonomy module could manage how it's managed.
But you could still do that. I mean, you can still check, do you have edit permissions for this taxonomy?
Yeah, but then if there are 2 permissions, which one will win?
Yeah, so once we have dynamic permissions for not creatable content types, it would be a great point to also think about having all these other permissions that we created before we had dynamic permissions for non-creatable content types as well, because those permissions were actually workarounds. And in my opinion, the right way, the good and efficient way, would be to have dynamic permissions for every content type. unless we could have some opt-out feature probably.
So creatable is also for the UI to be able to see it in the new. So there is a way from the UI to create something. Now let's say I have dynamic permissions for anything which is not creatable. How will I create something, even if I have permission?
In the same way as before.
In the specific pages, if you could do that. So then what's the point of creating the dynamic permission if the module already handles that?
Because now
for instance, taxonomies, what would be the point of the taxonomies?
Well, the point would be that now you would be able to define permissions in the way you can define for creatable types. So not just
But maybe some modules don't want that. They don't want.
Sébastien, the other day, didn't you introduce a type called listable?
This is
Why not something like permissible? For lack of a better word.
No, but that's what creatable is. It gives you a way to create the entity and it manages the permission by itself.
But you know, this needs all kinds of workarounds that we all implemented during the last years. That we created custom permissions for those types that we didn't want to have in that new list, but still we wanted to have fine-grained control over permissions.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
So for most of the times in my experience, we created permissions, custom permissions for our modules solely because of the reason we didn't have dynamic permissions for them, because we opted out of having those content types as creatable, because we didn't want to have them listed under that new menu item on the admin. So this was kind of backwards.
Okay, let me think.
But this is one of the more complex issues. That's why I also have written there, need more feedback or something like this. We should probably also discuss in a forum discussion which pull requests will be discussed on the next meeting, so everybody could just quickly take a look at them, so everybody can be prepared, more or less, so we don't have to take time on understanding the issue.
Okay, I really need an example, a concrete example where it will be better, or something you can do today.
Even with taxonomies. Imagine that you have many administrators, and for certain administrators, you just want to allow to be able to edit terms under a specific taxonomy.
And that has nothing to do with creatable or dynamic permissions for types. This is something to apply in the taxonomy module to show different rights for each taxonomy, for instance. And this is completely orthogonal to this question. Same thing for list. I have a list, the list admin, and I have multiple lists, and I want just some roles to edit one or the other list. This is again a dynamic permission, but not based on the creatable, but based on the content items. And this is a feature for the lists.
And you would also want to differentiate between whether you can edit your own content item or edit content items by others. And for this, you would also need to create custom permissions.
Yeah, but yeah, this is the same as the dynamic permissions we have for the types, but on the content items level. And honestly, I again worked on that last week when I implemented the permission for the list, because I asked myself if I should take the time to implement the permission per list item, because this is actually what we need. So the list in general is the first level, managed list, but then there is, okay, but instead of managed list, can you have the right to manage a specific list? And I think we'll have to go there, and same thing for taxonomies, maybe same thing for projections. And
yeah, the example with the specific taxonomy was a wrong one, because yeah, this is for content types.
Yeah, there might be an example
Yeah, there totally is. So,
So let's,
yeah, I probably can't say one from the top of my head, but there were many.
so we write a comment saying, okay, we'll need for. So I wrote a comment that we need more reasons to apply that. Sorry, there's a work item for that?
No, this is another work item.
So I say to do.
No, there is a work item, just not that one. I commented it on the last but one. Yeah.
Okay, proposed. Oh, this is new. Monday. Permissions enabled. So this is kind of what Stan was suggesting. Okay, let's talk about it with more examples, and maybe next week we'll agree. Okay, so this one is done. As suggested, I'm just going on the good to go ones.
Yeah, 10 is the first one.
The first one?
I mean, number 10 is the first one that's next.
Yeah, then it's the first one. Again, who's this guy? So control wrapper, bug fixed, rebase.
I had to rebase like 15 pull requests. I didn't put all the details in.
I really hope, Stanley, that during that work you would abandon some of those, but you didn't.
The pull requests? I'm pretty sure I canceled the duplicates.
So this
Sorry?
one is the same as the previous one, but with high content. So what is it about? Control wrapper bug fix. I'm not. So where is the work item? I don't even know what, you know. If you see control wrapper bug fixed, what is the bug?
1 second.
Yeah, there is always some context in the comments. Here, there is a link to the original pull request that Stanley rebased because it was an old one from last year.
Oh, okay.
And there you can find everything.
Sorry. So this one cancel. Okay. Because of this guy too. He commented there. Okay. And the context is content no checks for edit permission of dynamic content types. Control wrapper no checks for. Oh, I see. So the goal is the link of the control. Okay. Because if you don't have the rights, that doesn't. You don't have to render the link, I assume. So blah 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 blah. Why is that? Okay, it's a boolean. Okay, authorize for, if authorized for, and. Why that?
It was above line 3. I was simply maintaining the old code.
What does it mean, content item ID greater than 0.
I'm assuming that the content item is not saved yet.
Saved.
Right? I mean, the only time a content item ID is 0 is when it's not saved or published.
But in this case, did you have the case where it could be 0? It's the control wrapper.
This is not my code. I only refactored what I needed
This is
to.
not your code. Okay. I hope it is not mine. Because I would, okay, checking if the content item is not null, and then authorize this content item not null and that. But it's not your code, so I won't blame you. Okay. Two classes. Oh, widgets control wrapper. Okay. You see, it's not checked here. It's checked here. That's weird.
If you want to remove it, just leave a comment.
Yeah. No. It can be another. It's fine. If it's what was there, it's no. It should be removed, but we need to take some. Good to go. Good to go. Okay. This one and this one done. So I go back here. So next one, Zoltan.
Number 13. Yeah.
Is off. Wow. But can't you rebase your branch? I don't know why you did another pull request. No.
You can't rebase a pull request. You have to create a branch. You have to cancel the previous pull request and create a new one.
Okay. On GitHub you can.
Yeah. On GitHub.
I did that. So this one, just a rebase then. And you know, actually, why did you ask Zoltan him to rebase?
It was on some on 1.7 dot something.
So it was breaking it. Okay. So ideally, I just need them to try to merge the branch they want to target so that there is no merge conflict. That's it. After, we will rebase when we pull it. You see what I mean? It's good if they rebase it, that's fine. But yeah, at least on the same pull request, they can merge the branch so they don't have to create another pull request.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether this is possible on Codeplex. I mean, I'm not sure whether you can edit a pull request in such a way that the changes will reflect that.
Because it's just, so it's not, it's just merging 1x to your branch, so your branch doesn't change. It's just like another change set on your branch. So next time, Stan, you try that. Instead of rebasing, try first to merge. So this is something we'll add. I'm almost sure of that. That will be fine. Guidance for Pierre, change, require a merge a recent. So this way, they will fix the merge issues. And then when we pull it, rebasing their branch over the branch we want to target, there won't be any merge issues.
I don't know if you want to do that, Sébastien, because I think if a person ends up making a fix in the merge commit, I don't think you can rebase that fix.
You will, I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm not so sure.
This is what I do in my script. It's first merged, and after I rebase it, so it's intelligent enough to remove the merge and apply the same changes. I prove me wrong and try that. It's better than having to create a new PR and rebase everything. Okay, so well, what were we talking about? The container item show default.
Yeah, so for container part, there is an item shown boolean that you can set from the admin side. So whether the contained items will be shown on the front end, and this is adding a content type setting where you can define a default.
It's a new feature.
Yeah.
So this is a new setting on the content type part level, where you can set
Yes.
default. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what it does, but
Yeah. Do you know, Zoltan, what the setting does? The
Yeah, really. There is
shown.
this items shown
Oh, I see.
option. It's a container part. So you can put items below that content item, and those content items will be shown together with the rest of the content item where the container part is on the front end.
I see. That's fine. Okay, that's fine.
And this is a default for that configuration.
You have nothing to do, Stan?
I was using it.
Just weird.
I don't want to check the checkbox every time.
Yeah, I see. I would have checked the box every time personally instead of creating the code. That's fine. Okay, good to go. Another one. 3 of them. Are all of them from Stan? Crazy they are. Okay, Stan must be happy. Best day of his life.
You are not presenting anymore, Sébastien.
Oh, because of this stuff in link that I don't know if you see. Do you see this toolbar currently presenting and whatever? No? Well, on my screen there is a toolbar which says you are currently presenting. And if I click on the Chrome tabs, it's at the same location as the stop presenting. So that's why it's a pain sometimes. Okay. So I suggest that we end the meeting because it's been 1 hour. Zoltan will be sad, but we validated 3 pull requests and we at least defined the guidelines for what we do during these meetings and what we need to do. So I will create the page. Okay, and we'll talk about it on Tuesday. I think it will be interesting. And in the meantime, we can go on with reviewing the PRs or trying to make progress on them. I will pull them, okay? I will use my magical accept PR stuff. I will also share it on the page. Thank you, Stan. 3-0.
Little by little.
So next week, I assume we will be able to take more.
Are we going to do these meetings weekly until we process all the pull requests and maybe?
Yes. Until the end of days.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
I will be there. Whoever wants to join, will join.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, then see you on Tuesday.
See you. Bye. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Be good.
Bye.